Welcome to the You Can Man podcast, episode 41. I'm Josh.
I'm Tim.
And I'm Dave.
And on this week's episode, Facebook group shoutouts.
All right, guys, welcome back to the You Can Man podcast, where we believe what one man can do, you can do as well. This week, we're going to be doing some shout-outs for some guys that have been big-time contributors on our Facebook group page. So you hear us touting that Facebook group quite a bit, and we've had lots of activity. And so we thought that we should take some time to give some shout-outs to some guys that have helped out on the group and been a real resource to other people.
Yeah, give some love, right?
Yeah.
Spread the love at the end of the year.
And we're going to talk a little bit too, just about how that plays completely into the You Can Man spirit. We'll kind of get into that a little bit. But first, how was your week?
Fine. I've got some issues going on at my house in the bathrooms. So my house was built in 1976. We got 3 bathrooms and they're all pretty big, but none of the bathrooms have exhaust fans. And so my oldest kid, he's like all about taking showers now. And he just cranks that water up, And so I'll let him I'll be like, all right, I'll be back in 5 minutes. I'll come back in 5 minutes. And that place is just, you can't even see in there.
Wow. He can withstand the heat.
He loves it. He's like, I want it hotter. It's really weird, but whatever. But I got to put these fans in, man. And luckily all of the bathrooms there's only an attic above. That's not true. One of the bathrooms, there's a floor above, so that one's going to be tough. But
you have side access, right?
I do have side access. So I need to put 4 of them in because I need one in my laundry room as well. But man, I haven't ever done it. But I think it's not too bad. I need to run power for them.
It's not too bad.
Yeah,
now I will say
power is going to be a pain.
I will say the proper way that I did not do, and I don't know that it's debatable whether or not this
put that vent all the way.
Well, there's that. But if you're going into the attic, it actually should really be an insulated
it should be insulated ductwork.
If you're in the north, 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to do that.
I didn't do that.
I'm not going to do that.
I was like, you know what?
It doesn't get that cold.
I don't think the temperature difference for the vast majority of the year is going to be that crazy.
Yeah.
And I actually dumped mine. You're not supposed to do this, so guys, just disregard this. But
it's
been fine. I just dumped mine into a soffit vent. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you're supposed to do that. It really should be going out of the roof. Now, Josh, we hooked one up, or was that your kitchen vent that we did?
I did both. They were all in the same area. But yes, I vented 2 bathrooms and the kitchen microwave vent
out
through the
roof.
Yeah, I'm going to go at the wall. I don't want to deal with the roof, and because I know that thing's going to leak.
If you don't have a steep roof, or if you have a steeper roof, which I think yours is steeper than mine, I think going through the roof is just as easy as anything else.
Really?
Mine was hard because I had to be on my stomach all the way out to the ends because I have a very shallow pitch.
Access was tough.
Yes, like wrestling a vent tube pipe.
Well, I've got 4 of them to do, so I'll be calling you guys, and that's probably going to occupy the majority of my winter, I think. So I'm going to be breaking them up.
Do one at a time?
Yeah, I'm going to do one at a time.
Okay. All right. I'll help you run wire because I like doing that.
Cool.
Yeah,
your snake.
If you're doing that, I will suggest this. So, and actually, to code,
we will be doing that.
You're supposed to have. You're not going to want to do this, but what you're supposed to have is 2 switches: one for the light, one for the fan.
I will have 2 switches. Okay. I'm going to do them on timers, I think, so you can hit. So they make switches that have buttons.
That ties into the Facebook shoutouts because Todd, our friend Todd, is on the Facebook group page, and he listed a thing that he's been installing. Same thing is a timer, motion activated timer.
Nice.
Walk in and thing comes on. And it's got a timer and it shuts off. But he had posted that. Anyway, sorry.
I like it.
Yeah, I've got timer on mine. It's nice.
Yeah,
because then you can just leave it on.
Yeah, you just hit it for 20 minutes. You roll out.
Look, yeah, maybe I need to do that.
The other half of the reason that we won't get into, besides shower steam, is like it's an exhaust fan for smells.
Yeah, it gets odors out.
So like. You don't want to, if you just have the switch with no timer.
You just leave the thing running all day long.
We'd rather not do that, but that's what the need can be. Anyway, if you have a timer, you can set it as you leave. It runs.
What
for
are
30
y'all's
minutes.
thoughts on?
Everybody's satisfied.
I don't know why people want them to be quiet. I'm like, no,
Agree.
it needs
I
to be.
agree.
You want some noise.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, especially
Totally
if you've
agree.
got, let's say you've got a half bath that's like literally right next to where your guests are hanging out.
You gotta drown
Or
stuff
your
out.
own master bathroom.
Well,
that's
you can
attached
buy
to your
them. You can
bedroom.
buy one of the noisy ones, right?
Yeah. Just buy the cheap one.
Yeah,
It's noisy. That's
exactly.
What I do.
Buy the cheap one. And
Yeah. No, the more noise, the better.
Agreed.
Yeah.
We had
Definitely.
a townhome with the half bath almost in the dining room with you. And so
You could wire it to a white noise machine.
Okay.
So that thing kicks on when you hit the
Sounds
fan.
complicated.
It does
Yeah.
sound complicated.
cool. Yeah, the only thing I went back and listened to last week's episode, and Dave brought us McDonald's at the end of the episode. We didn't talk about it.
For the Warren buffet.
Yeah, for the Warren buffet. I need to comment on how delicious that was.
Oh, okay. Good.
It had been a while since I had
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
And the cheeseburger was a delight. Fries were cold, but
The fries were cold. I did my best. I put them in the crock pot. I will say, so I wasn't feeling great that night. I was still getting over a stomach bug. And so the next day, a couple of days later, I had to hit it because it was on my mind. I was like, oh, I want that cheeseburger.
Gave you the bug.
Yeah, so I had to hit up a McDonald's.
yeah. Also, I realized that I said "wow" like 52 times during your segment, which means it was really good.
You were blown away by
Yeah.
Warren.
I did
Buffett.
the Owen Wilson.
He's an interesting
Wow.
guy. Yeah, I
like 100
that.
times. And the other thing was Dave and I and my brother completed our, it's not a trifecta because it's 12, so whatever that is in 12 races, one race a month throughout the year, throughout 2019. And so we did our last one last weekend.
We did. I completed 11, but I'm going to get that last one in this weekend.
Are you?
I'm going to head out. I'm going to do the course so I can
Coming up to Rome with me?
Yes, not Rome. It's in Canton. But I'll check that box.
hey, if y'all keep doing it, I might be able to join you. I
We're
don't
going to
know.
do a few next year. It's not going to be a monthly, I don't think, but we're going to.
I got a 5K down. I got that down.
Yeah, 5K. That's no
Oh,
problem.
we'll do the polar bear, right? In January.
Yeah, you can do the polar bear.
horrible.
So we're doing a baker's dozen is really the kind of
you go.
because we did
I
the
think
polar
I'd-
bear. That was the first one we did. We want to do that one again to close it
Okay,
out.
I could probably do that. I've gotten my thing I was going to talk about. I've gotten so used to just being out in the cold because
Yeah.
I've been
It's good.
every other day besides Sunday. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday is my schedule now of going to Kennesaw Mountain. Those of you who are in the Atlanta area, you probably know about Kennesaw
It's a
Mountain.
national.
It's a national battlefield
yes.
park. So there is
Yeah.
a major, I would definitely call that major, major Civil War battle that was fought there. We call it a mountain. It's really more of a really, really large hill. So if
Yeah.
you're from Colorado, you look at this, you're going to be like, that is
I
not
think
a mountain.
the elevation from ground level to mountaintop is only like 800 feet. I think it's ultimately at like 1,000 feet.
Okay.
For the area, it's a mountain.
So
No,
we
I
have,
think it's anyway.
We have, there's two, again, they're really just large hills. Kennesaw Mountain and Little Kennesaw Mountain right next to each other. Anyhow,
It's where the Confederates made their last stand against Sherman.
pretty much before
he
the
rolled
march.
through
I didn't know that.
Atlanta. Yeah. And onto the sea. But I've been going there as early as like 6:30 in the morning. Like right
That's
after
nighttime then, right?
That's
Yes.
cold
There was one
nowadays.
time I had to use the headlamp going up. But it's been awesome because there's so many times that I'll hike up the mountain and I will not see a single soul.
It's nice.
Until I
that.
get, way up there or something, and finally I'll run into somebody. But it's been so.
Didn't you
so
say
awesome.
you didn't see anybody all the way on the way up, and you get up there and it's dark and you see somebody and
Yeah.
you're like, did you sleep up here? Like I didn't
it
see you
was
come
weird.
up.
I think that it might be situations where people are going up the road. So there's a trail you can go up, or they have a road that's like an asphalt road. And so maybe they did that. I'm not really sure.
Could you camp there and get? I mean, is anybody gonna mess with you? Would anybody
You
know?
could,
You're not
but
allowed
You're
to.
not supposed to.
Yeah, I know you're not supposed to. I'm just saying, like nobody's gonna. It's
could.
gonna be quiet, right?
Another thing that this is weird, but for years I had this dream of going up on top of Kennesaw Mountain at night to see the lights of Atlanta.
Yeah.
I do that like
do
every
now.
other day now because when I'm going up, the sun has not come up yet, and so I'm able to see the city.
Yeah, whenever I've been up there,
Lights
it's
from up there.
it's always light, and so you're just kind of squinting, like, yeah, I can see Atlanta, and you just kind of see the skyline. It's hard to see, but yeah, at night it must be nice.
Oh yeah, it's been great. It's been great. So, anyways, just
Beautiful
wanted
park
to
as well.
talk about that a minute. But
Cool.
okay, so let's get into this. Doing some Facebook shout outs. So really, this what is happening, which we did not really anticipate on our Facebook group. We thought hopefully this would happen, but we've had a ton of activity on the Facebook group, and it's perfect because exactly what is happening is exactly what we want to happen.
The spirit is out there.
The spirit of You Can Man is out there solidly on our Facebook group because if you've listened to our podcast for any amount of time, and hopefully if you've listened to one of our very early on episodes, DIY Philosophy, we kind of talk about this, about sharing and passing on the skills that you've learned. You know, I think we talked about us growing up and our fathers, and they showed us stuff. And so this is an extension of this. So sharing what you know to someone who is, it might be their very first time doing that skill is extremely vital. And that's something that we hold very near and dear to us. And that, so we're so super thrilled that that's actually happening on our Facebook group. So we're going to get into a few shout outs here, and let's just use first names here, guys.
Yes.
Because our Facebook group is actually a private group. Anybody can join, but we have to approve you first. So anything you post on our group page just stays within the group. So just in case you were a little hesitant, like, I don't want to do the Facebook thing, you could just start an account. Even if you don't have Facebook, start an account. You don't have to friend anybody. You don't have to do any of that. You could just join.
Just join the group.
Just join the group.
Yep.
So that's the way that you can interact. So, but we'll withhold last names on here as we're giving some shout outs.
And guys, we're not, there's a lot of contributors here, and we're not going to be able to hit every single person that has contributed. Maybe in a part 2 episode we could, but we're going to start with the guys that are just super active on here and have shared tons of information and have helped other guys work through some project issues that they come up against. And so we'll start there.
Yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to Lee. And he has been a real big encouragement, and I think he's listened to like every single episode. I think I've heard from him personally about that. And so he's followed us for quite a while, and he's had a big project going on. I guess he's doing this shop in his basement. And so he's been kind of posting some pictures along the way of him doing that. And so that's been really, really helpful. And he's always kind of chiming in on different posts and everything. So I wanted to shout out to Lee. One of you guys want to take?
I mean, the next one that comes to mind is Brad. He started off with, he's done a lot of stuff, but he started off with a really cool tile video kind of story. He just laid out a bunch of videos of him laying tile in his bathroom. And just physically seeing somebody, like visually seeing somebody do tile work and like back butter the tile and actually set it. And he's showing all these steps of the process, and just being able to see a guy who's not necessarily like Mr. Contractor guy, but like a guy in his own bathroom doing tile.
But he knows what he's doing.
He's for sure. I don't know what his trade is, but he is good at tile.
And I think he posted the videos to YouTube, but I was on there earlier just kind of looking back through stuff. And I don't know if he posted all of his. I think some of them he just posted on our Facebook group. But when we do the show notes for this, I could at least post links to his YouTube videos.
Yeah, he's got a ton of videos that he put in the group, and it's very cool.
Yeah, and he's just got this like even keeled attitude towards everything, and just showing
real matter of fact.
Yeah, it's just this is how you do it, this is why you do it, and this is how you do it. So we really appreciated that. Like he just kept posting these videos. I was like, dang, this is, man, he needs to just like do this. This is great.
Yeah. You got one, Dave?
Yeah, I need to give a shout out to Judd. He's not as active as some other people on here, but
Judd's our car guy.
He's our car guy,
Truck guy.
He threw me some love. I think he liked the I'm forgetting the name of it.
Not
Blade Banter. Because he said he carries Spyderco knives, so Judd's obviously a smart guy. So Judd, appreciate it, man.
Judd's legit.
He posted the picture of like all his rides like in his driveway.
He's got some legit trucks.
The international.
I'm scrolling through Facebook now, because I'm going through a lot here. I'm trying to find it.
I'm jealous of these trucks.
Sweet trucks. That's right. He has the International Scout.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, and then he's got those
some other big trucks.
Yeah, what are those?
I've known Judd for a long time. He had a Ram. He was like, when we were in our early 20s, he had this huge Ram dually. I was like, dang, how does a young dude like that have such a
that
nice
thing was
truck?
Serious.
Judd's a worker. That's how.
That's right.
Yeah, another guy that's been contributing a good bit is Daniel. And he recently, I guess, has transitioned out of the military, or he's in process of transitioning out of the military.
Thank you for your service.
Yes,
He's
thank
in
you so
Hawaii,
much.
right?
Yeah, and he's been in the military for a very long time. I guess technically you'd call that career military, even though he's still young. Anyhow, so he's been transitioning and is doing a construction job right now. So he's been posting a lot of stuff about a bunch of concrete work that he's been doing.
Yeah, those machines are pretty cool.
Yeah. They've been doing like coring samples and stuff, like testing different concrete strengths and stuff. So that's been really helpful. Really cool to check out. And then he also did a little post on changing something on his BMW, and I'm trying to find it here. Oh, it was a water pump. So he was kind of walking people through how to do that. So that was really helpful as well. So, and Daniel, thank you so much for your service to our country.
Next one up here is Devin. Now, Devin is an active contributor, and Devin trips me out because he'll post something like, hey, I'm just going to do this little project. And then like,
whoops, built a house.
Yeah, 3 days later, there's like a mini house with like beautiful French doors and board and batten siding. And then in the middle of that is a picture of a sonogram. Congratulations.
I remember that post.
Because like he's doing all this project and they find out they're having a baby, which is really cool. But Devin's kind of at least in carpentry, he knows what he's doing. He's painted it himself, it looks like, using a sprayer. So Devin's a big time contributor that has
because everybody was like, okay, you're saying this was a shed, you basically built a small house.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. It's legit. It's nice.
Didn't somebody like make some comment like you built a house and you made a baby? Something?
Yes, that's a fact.
Yeah, but he's also a good contributor, just chiming in on other stuff. And so, hey, Devin, thank you so much for your contributions, and everybody appreciates it.
Yeah, Anthony reached out a while back, and I actually missed this post because I'm not super active on Facebook, but it looks like we got him straightened out. So he was looking at some bike storage ideas, right? So he hung his bikes up. And
he made that look nice too.
Made it look nice. People got him helped out. So yeah, any kind of questions that come up like this, if you guys don't have a solution, if you can throw it up on the page. I mean, there's a lot of activity on here.
Yeah, Jim recently posted right around Thanksgiving some cabinet, like the side panel on one of his cabinets had kind of popped off a little bit, and we were trying to figure out nails or glue or nails and glue. And so
what was the consensus? It was just, I don't know, use some brad nails.
Jim, let us know how it went. We all gave advice, and then we didn't hear how it went. But I think there was enough good advice.
Yeah, so basically it was just a very thin veneer plywood that was on the side of his pantry, basically, and it had popped out. Yep. So he was just like, hey, how do I attach this best?
Yeah, and Jim's a good guy, too, to be really funny in a comment. So he might not actually help you out, but his comments are usually really funny.
If you're getting angry and you're just pulling your hair out, Jim will make you laugh.
Yeah, and Jason, too. Jason is active in our group, and he's the same way. He provides us some nice comic relief when it's needed.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the post of the guy that was asking about the ball bearing situation. Willard. Okay. So I was
Willard's
actually
in Alabama. He's a chiropractor in Alabama. Yeah.
Interesting.
Willard's a smart dude.
Okay, so he was asking. He had I still don't know the end product of what he was trying to do.
Follow up.
Yeah, you need to make a comment and tell us like what in the world you're actually making. But he was asking about 2 pieces of plywood, and he wanted them to slide without touching each other,
but against each other,
but really, really low profile.
Yeah.
And then I was just thinking about it, and I don't know how
it feels like a barn door.
No, it was like sliding out horizontally.
Okay. So I was actually able to. I don't even know what I searched for to figure this out, or maybe I had already had it in my head, and then I don't know. I did some searching and I figured it out. Basically, it was just a single ball bearing, a large bearing, and it was really low profile. And I shared that with him. He's like, "That's exactly what I was looking for." So that was a good feeling.
Willard, we need to follow up on that.
Yeah.
How about Jacob? He looks like he sourced a used backpack blower.
This is my brother Jacob, who runs with us, so we can say who he is.
Okay, so it's your brother Jacob, and it looks like it was your backpack blower.
Oh yeah,
and he got it from you.
It
worked,
but $3.95.
Right, so it leaks fuel, and he was asking about recommendations on how to. I probably would have been like, I'm going to buy a new backpack blower because I don't want fuel leaking out all over my back.
Right.
And then I turn into the Rocketeer, like just blowing up. So I don't know if we got them straightened out. Looks like we got a lot of comments on here. How do you get that fixed?
I don't remember. There was like some rubber bushings I think he replaced, and then like some tubing.
Okay.
Because the tubing was really brittle.
Yep.
But I think it was like a rubber grommet or something.
Got it.
To replace.
Yeah, Nick, he posted just some information actually about how who owns what tool companies. So there's these companies like parent companies who manufacture all these different tool brands.
Conglomerates. Yeah.
So he posted an article, Tool Industry Behemoths, who makes and who owns most tool brands. That was really
like
interesting.
All right,
thanks
last
for that, Nick.
one we're going to mention, and again, we did not get to everybody. We apologize. But hey, get active in the group and we'll mention you. Josh has a Subaru, and he works on it himself, and that thing always looks cherry. And Josh is a smart dude. He hasn't posted anything. I know Josh from a previous life. Dave does as well. But he is hardcore into astronomy. He hasn't posted anything yet in our group about that. But if you find him and friend him on Facebook, man,
there's some stuff on there. I'm like, no way.
Like with his iPhone and telescope, he looks like Neil Armstrong, like hovering above the moon type pictures. Like, I mean, he has these high res of Jupiter too and Saturn.
Dude,
he's legit.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Anyway.
Hey, make us a little article. And we'll post on the Facebook group of like how to get into that, because I would actually.
We'll have Josh on the show.
Yeah,
he'd be a good guest.
Yeah.
Okay, I know you said that was the last one, but I got to give a shout out to Larry.
All right, Larry.
Because I mean, his wife has been posting some funny stuff too. Because she's like, "What have you guys done to him?" He's like, talking about You Can Man,
transformed him.
And I'm like, "Are you thanking us or are you blaming us?"
Larry drives routes every day and religiously listens, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, but he did. Did he install a garage door opener all by himself or something?
Was it the garage door? Yes.
Yeah,
it was
garage door opener or something.
And then people gave him advice on how to brace the actual opener.
Because he had really high ceilings or something like that. Yep. But anyways, guys, thanks so much. And please continue to be contributing to the Facebook group. You guys hear us say it almost every episode. If you hadn't checked it out, definitely check out the Facebook group. Tons of stuff going on there. And it's exactly what we want to happen, about people sharing the skills that they've learned and sharing it with others. So guys, thanks so much. Josh has a segment for us this week, so we'll be back after the break.
All right. This episode is sponsored by 1776 United. 1776 United is a patriotic and historically inspired lifestyle brand. They make the best patriotic shirts and apparel on the market today. I personally own many of their products, and if you want to don patriotic gear without looking gaudy, check them out on Instagram, Facebook, and at 1776united.com.
All right, guys, welcome back. Josh, got a segment for us. What you got?
All right, so this is a newsworthy event that I guess it's a current event, we would say, and it involves a little activity that is kind of known as the Cannonball Run.
Yes.
So we're going to go through a little bit of the history of the Cannonball Run and what is it, and then what recently.
I already know what you're going to talk about. I want to do. Can the three of us? Can we do this? I want to do it.
Let's talk at the end of the episode. So, the Cannonball Run, if you're not familiar, and it's actually officially called the Cannonball Baker Sea to Sign. Let's try this again. The Cannonball Baker Sea to Shining Sea Memorial Trophy Dash.
Wow. Okay.
I feel like I should try one more
time. I've only known it as the Cannonball Run.
Yeah, that's what it's typically known as, but that's the official name of it. So back in the 70s, these crazy dudes, one of them whom was the editor of Car and Driver, and his name was Brock Yates.
Okay,
and so Brock Yates, famous Car and Driver editor, I think he died just a few years ago. But back in the 70s, he had this crazy idea that he's going to take a car and try to do it as fast as possible from the East Coast to the West Coast. And so he and a couple guys got in a van, like a kind of a souped up van, to haul as fast as possible across the United States. Now, the reason he did this is, he's an adrenaline junkie, I'm sure. But other reasons given were this was a celebration of the United States interstate highway system, which Tim's done a segment on.
Yeah.
But in the 70s, I mean, I think that's probably about the time everything was finally getting
It was relatively, it wasn't, it was relatively new.
Yeah. So a celebration of that, but also a protest against recent strict traffic laws as far as like speed limits and the gas crisis. So, and the restrictions that the government was putting on automakers to make the cars more gas, to save more gas, right?
So he was kind of giving everybody the finger, being like, I'm just going to do this.
Yeah,
and
that was during the start of all the smog related stuff. So like even my Bronco had the heads on it, or like that you call them like smog heads, because they started doing that to save gas. So, and then also a motivator for him was material for Car and Driver magazine. So anyway, these three guys, Brock Yates, his son, Brock Yates Jr., Steve Smith, I guess it was another guy, and Jim Williams, took a 71 Dodge custom sports van in 1971. So the thing was brand new. They nicknamed it Moon Trash 2. Don't know what the purpose of that was, but they went across the country in 40 hours and 51 minutes.
Okay.
That seems pretty quick. Respectable, right? I'm not going to go through details of like every Cannonball Run, but there were only 5 official Cannonball Runs. The first one was that one. It wasn't a race. It was just a run. The next 4 were actual races, and they all took place in the 70s. So the second one was in 1971. A racing legend, Dan Gurney, he actually won the 67 24 Hours of Le Mans. He won the second Cannonball Run. Obviously. In a Ferrari Daytona.
Okay.
He shaved 5 hours off of that time. So he's at 35 hours, 54 minutes.
That sounds less comfortable than the van, I would think. Cross country in a 1970s Ferrari.
Right. So he shaved 5 hours off. A famous quote from his trip then, after he did the feat, people are asking like, how fast did you go? His answer, and this famous quote that's still used today by guys who do the Cannonball Run, his answer was, "At no time did we exceed 175 miles per hour." That was his response to how fast were you guys going. So third race was 1972. So I'm sorry, the second race, if I didn't mention earlier, was like 6 months after the first one in 1971. So in 1972 was the third race. A Coupe de Ville won it, but took 37 hours and 16 minutes. So it actually increased the time about an hour and a half. Fourth race, 1975, a Ferrari Dino won it in 35 hours and 53 minutes. So only 1 minute faster.
Wow.
Only 1 minute faster than the second race. And the last race, the fifth race, officially was April 1st, 1979. 32 hours, 51 minutes. I actually don't have the note of the car fail, but
come on, man.
32 hours, 51 minutes, average speed about 87 miles per hour, which is, it was a Jaguar XJS.
Okay, so it feels like around 30 hours is kind of the floor that they're bumping up against.
Yeah, so they're coming down. They crept from 40 hours in a van down to 32 hours, 51 minutes in a Jag.
Okay.
Over about 8 years. Okay. So who are these people that do this? So since then, there's been no official Cannonball Run. There are other organized races that go by different names that are Cannonball style. One's called the 2904, and one's called the C2C Express, like the letter C2C, but it's actually C to C, like the ocean. A couple of those going on at all times, different people, different groups, they race. These people are a self-proclaimed fraternity of lunatics within the automotive enthusiast community.
Sounds accurate.
And they obsess over the New York to LA land speed records, right? Only so many attempts have been set, but like the tracking of this is like who
well, it's underground, right?
Yeah, and through the 80s and 90s, like how do you prove that you did this? Because it started to become known that people would actually start the race and use like spotter planes, which is considered cheating in the community, or they would just totally cheat and drive and then fly and then get in an identical car.
Come on.
Roll, like, there's been all kinds
Why would you do that?
There's been all kinds of people being busted trying to do this. So getting an official record since 1979 was kind of really hazy, I guess, to say it. So what are we doing in modern times? So modern times, it wasn't until October of 2006 that somebody like legitimately proved that they did this feat again and beat the record that was set in 1979. So we're talking, what, 25 years later?
Do they film it? Like, how do they prove it?
A filmmaker actually was on the crew that drove it. And so they recorded the whole thing, and they drove it, the transcontinental record, 31 hours and 4 minutes. So they shaved about another hour and a half off that time that was set in 79. So that official record stood for a long time. Well, fast forward to 2013, which was only a few years ago, a guy named Ed Bolian, who has a YouTube channel called VinWiki, I believe. My cousin's super into it, and he may tell me that's incorrect, but look it up on YouTube. But Ed Bolian in 2013, you probably heard about it if you're into cars at all, a few years ago, reset the record. He broke the record.
This made national news. He was
in a Mercedes AMG.
You and I saw that car randomly.
Well, yeah, at a car show.
Yeah, we went to a car
he's
show,
a local guy.
and it was kind of this ragged out. We walked up by this kind of older Mercedes, and Josh was like, "Dude, that's the car that just set that record."
Broken the record.
And it was outfitted, like stuff all over the dash, not cameras, but like
radar detectors,
computers.
Yeah.
It was pretty legit.
So he did in 2013. Ed broke the record, and a team of two other guys, Dave and Dan, 28 hours and 50 minutes. So they shattered that 30-hour mark, right?
And they had a fuel cell in the back. Yep. They modified that thing pretty heavily.
Now, what's crazy about this effort is they averaged 98 miles per hour. They got a top speed of 182 on the trip.
Oh my gosh.
What's cool about them is, like, you can go on Jalopnik. There's a great article on Jalopnik about the details of their feat, but it also has all this data in the form of a 282-page PDF of all the thousands of data points that their GPS unit took. And what they did is they got a company that does tracking for like semi-trucks and just got a tracking device for their car. Now, the company didn't know what they were up to, but they wanted to be able to have a third party track their GPS location. And so that's how they proved that they actually did the feat.
Okay. What was their time?
Okay, 28 hours, 50 minutes, right? Now, some crazy details about this drive. It said the highest speed limit was 75 miles an hour. He spent 25 hours of the 28 hours above 80 miles per hour. Okay.
That's crazy.
He spent 15 hours above 100 miles an hour, and he spent an hour and a half over 130.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That's incredible.
Dang.
I mean, that's a testament to choosing the AMG Mercedes,
right,
like, for that just bulletproof,
just made
like, top
to go
speed
fast.
And so he traversed the entire state of Ohio across Ohio with an average speed of 107.5 miles per hour. That trip typically takes 3.5 hours, and they did it in just over 2 hours across Ohio. Okay.
That's unreal.
Only dropping below 81 miles per hour twice across Ohio.
I think I read that they left from New York, and I think they said they felt like they got lucky because they timed when they left, to miss traffic. But they said that they felt like they got lucky because they said they never hit traffic like the whole way.
Yeah,
which is kind of incredible.
Yeah,
right?
Any guys that do this feat, that especially the record setters, say there is a lot of luck in play. I mean, they do as much planning as they can. But anyway, so we talked about proving how you do it, and Ed Bolian obviously had the GPS tracking. Well, that was 2013. So what just happened a few weeks ago? Well, November 10th of 2019, Arnie Toman, Doug Tabbitt, and Berkeley Chadwick set a new transcontinental record. So previous time was 28 hours, 51 minutes. The new time that was just set last month, 27 hours and 25 minutes, which is an eternity for that race, just shaving even that much more time off. Because when Ed and his team set their record at sub 30, everyone was like, well, that's untouchable.
Not going to happen.
Now these guys come in and destroy that. They drove another Mercedes AMG E63 sedan. So not the same car, but a Mercedes AMG. Their average speed, and they haven't pulled out all the details because they're literally waiting over a year, like Ed did, to release the data because of the statute of limitations.
I was going to ask about that. Can somebody come knock on their door and say, all right.
Apparently that's the number. I don't know how official that is, but these guys are serious. These are not cowboys. These are very analytical. I mean, they are adrenaline junkies and things like that, and they want to be the best.
But they're kind of thinking through.
They're analytical. Yeah. Like some of the things they're thinking about, I'll kind of walk you through.
They're like, we're going to go 180 miles an hour responsibly.
Yeah. So anyway, they average 103 miles per hour. This is according to them, 103 average.
Incredible.
With a top speed of 193.
What?
Okay. There's already YouTube's videos of interviews of them with all that. It's a really cool video VinWiki put up about. He has all these previous record holders congratulating the new guys. So he shared the data with all of them so that they could vet it. And anyways, a great video. So you can see interviews about, what they dealt with, but basically, they took this AMG, they modified it and boosted it to 800 horsepower. They took all the logos off. They vinyl covered some of the lights because the Mercedes AMGs have real distinctive lights.
Yeah,
and
so they're trying to disguise
They
it.
would put vinyl with body colored vinyl covers over the lights, and it literally almost looks like a Honda Accord. And so they would hear the police scanners go off in their car. And all the description would be like, yeah, we got a report of a silver passenger car going in excessive speed. They never got pulled over the whole trip, which is rare. They had people staged to help them, like with fuel stops. They had spotters in certain states, like apparently Nebraska's like hardcore will grab you for speeding. They had spotters in Nebraska to get them through the state. So they did it right. They used a thermal imaging camera.
Wow.
To help with deer, first of all, because they were shocked at how many deer. They passed like 50 dead deer on the road or something, but never had an incursion. They had a guy in the passenger seat, the spotter for the car, with stabilizing binoculars so that he could like constantly look down the road. And anyway, you can look it up on the internet. It was an amazing feat that just happened last month, which is really cool. And anyway, that's all I got. That's the Cannonball Run brief history and the recent new transcontinental record holder.
I love it. I said that I want to do it, and I do. I would love to do it. I don't need to break the record. Okay, I don't need to be doing it in 26 hours. You do, and I don't have an AMG. I'd love an AMG, but I don't have one.
Too.
So I don't think my Accord is going to do it that quickly.
No.
Very interesting. I want to post like a map of their route on our show.
Yep.
Yeah, we should do that.
Map the route. We'll do multiple links there and the new YouTube video that's up. So.
Yeah, we'll post all that on our show.
And when they release their official data, I will give you the rundown of like how crazy the data is going to be, because all those stats I gave you about Ed and his team were shattered by Arnie and his team.
Look forward to hearing about that.
That's crazy. Guys, thanks so much for joining us once again on the UK Man podcast. Hey, our whole show today was about the Facebook group, so we got to
join it.
We got to plug it again. Join the Facebook group for sure. Hey, take some time to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, and take some time to tell a friend about the podcast as well. All right, we'll see you guys next time.